So a nuisance gator is a gator that is a threat to human life or property. So it's a very broad definition, and the interpretation of what a threat is can be something as simple as someone's opinion. If one person who knows nothing about alligators sees their first alligator ever, and they see it and they've seen nothing but bad media about how aggressive and dangerous they are, and they call and they say, "Oh my God, there's an alligator in my yard." Do you feel threatened by it? Well, yeah, look at the way it's looking at the gator's just sitting there. You know how many times we show up and the gator's just literally sitting there, no interest in people whatsoever, and like, it looked at me like it wanted to get me. I'm like, bro, its eyes are like marbles. It didn't look at you like anything. It doesn't even have expressions. Like, so many people are like, you don't understand the way it looked at me. I knew it wanted to get me. No, it didn't. There's 1.8 million alligators in the state of Florida. If they actively wanted to eat people, you'd have people dying every single day in Florida. Thankfully, they really want nothing to do with us. They're usually afraid of us. And it's not a nuisance gator problem, it's a nuisance person problem. We have 1,000 people per day that move to the state of Florida. That's completely unsustainable. That needs to be ended. That our state cannot handle that. Our wildlife cannot handle that. So it's 1,000 people moving the state per day. Out of those 1,000 people per day, how many know anything about alligators? Usually none. So the first gator they see, they think it's going to do a triple backflip out of the water and rip somebody's head off. That's what people think they're going to do. That's not reality at all. Again, just look at the stats of how many gators there are. If they wanted people, people would be dead every day. Thankfully, alligator attacks are very rare. I say attacks because UF just did a study showing that 96% of all alligator attacks are human fault. It's not an alligator making a predatory move against a human. It's a human doing something stupid. And these stupid things usually come in 3 different categories. Number 1, people feeding them. You feed them. They learn to associate you with food. You don't have the food. You are the food. That is a problem for people. It's also a problem for the gators. Once they're fed, we always say a fed gator is a dead gator. If they are fed, they lose their natural fear. And even if they are not aggressive, showing the lack of fear is justification to kill that alligator. If it is fed, it will be killed eventually. Yeah, but I fed a baby alligator. What does it matter? They have amazing memories. I have shown in my own work alligators and crocodiles that can remember the name training I've given to them 2 years later with no reinforcement of it at all whatsoever. So they will learn their names. They're very intelligent. They will learn to associate people with food as a baby. You come back 5 years later, the thing's now bigger than you are, and it does remember people are a food source. So there is no innocent feeding of baby alligators either. So don't feed them. Fed gator's a dead gator, and that is also the main reason you get people killed too. Don't feed them. Don't have kids or pets near the water's edge. Thankfully, they don't see adult humans as prey. They mainly like to eat things like raccoons, turtles, fish, birds. What's in that size class? Dogs, kids. They are in the size class to be prey. So again, thankfully, I don't see an adult human as prey normally. Dogs and kids definitely are on the menu. Always keep them away from the water. And we have quite a few people that have had really bad outcomes trying to save their dog from being attacked by an alligator. If you care about your dog, never let it in a body of water in Florida. Anywhere, okay? Unless it's a swimming pool, something like that. But like, keep your dogs out of the rivers and lakes. They are like candy for alligators, okay? They will go for them. You will lose your dog, and it will be your fault. It is not the gator's fault if it eats your dog. It's your fault. Keep kids and pets away from the water, and then don't go swimming in alligator habitat is the other big one I always tell everybody. If you're in the water and the gator's in the water, when they're in the water, their eye's only about an inch above the water. So if he's looking at you as a swimmer, all he sees is the top of your head sticking up. This is prey. This is not. But this is prey to any alligator. So even a 5-foot alligator will try to attack me, a 6'5" man, even though it's like a big lizard compared to me, but they will come for me if it's just my head sticking up because this is all they see. This is what they think you are, and they will go after this. Now, I've had wild alligator come after me like that, and I just stand up if it's shallow enough and show them my size. They immediately back off. It's literally them thinking that you are just this funny-looking duck floating along. But as soon as you show them how big you actually are, they're like, oh, whoa, that's not what I thought it was. Again, they're not interested in adult human as prey most, 99.9% of the time. So don't feed them. Keep kids and pets away from the water. Don't swim in their habitat. That solves almost every alligator attack issue that we run into. Now, keep in mind, if you have a nuisance gator that's actually legitimately causing a problem, I don't want to tell you not to call. If you or your family is in danger, you may have to call, but understand that if you do call, you just forfeited that animal's life. It is going to be destroyed. They do not allow the relocation of nuisance gators over 4 feet in the state of Florida. If it is over 4 feet and you call it in, it is going to die 99.999% of the time. because trappers make their money by killing the alligator and selling the meat and the hide. So they are incentivized to do so. That's basically the only way they make their money. So every trapper that catches a gator, almost every single time, is going to kill that alligator because that's the only way they make their living. It's not that they're bad guys, but they have to put food on the table too, right? So understand, it's almost always going to end up with the alligator dead. Now, in very rare instances, sometimes a trapper can choose to give the animal to a sanctuary. We work with some awesome trappers that have given us some of our gators, and work with other trappers that we pay them what they would have made by killing the alligator. But a lot of trappers also, they're not a bad guy, and they don't want to be seen as a bad guy. And like, oh yeah, he's going to go to a farm. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Okay. A lot of times that does not end well for the alligator. Okay. A lot of the big ones end up at hunting farms. That's going to a farm. They end up where it turns into a canned hunt. That's what they actually do with most of the big alligators. Most of the regular sized ones, they kill for the meat and the hide. They sell that. But if it's something really big, like a 12-foot alligator or anything bigger than that, they sell it to a canned hunting farm where they then release it into a pond, and then some rich a-hole pays, thousands of dollars to pull up to a pond and hunt an alligator and shoot and fish in a barrel, basically. So that's the fate of all those big ones that end up going to a farm. So let's say you do have an alligator and you're like, oh my God, there's a gator in my yard. I'm worried about my dog, but I don't want the gator to die. Can't I call you? No, you can't. I cannot directly respond to any alligator anywhere. I'm not allowed to legally. I have to work with the trappers. So if you have a nuisance gator problem, the only person that's coming is a nuisance gator trapper. And you do not get to pick the trapper, and you do not get to pick where the gator goes. That's up to the trapper. You have no say in this whatsoever, guys. So please keep that in mind. I know a lot of people that have called in an alligator thinking I was going to show up, and instead somebody else showed up and shot it right in their backyard in front of their kid. Everybody's sad. It's not a happy ending for anyone. So keep in mind, if you call it in, I cannot directly respond to your alligator, and the trapper who shows up, you have no say over what happens to that alligator. That's up to the trapper, not you. And 99.9% of the time, the gator is going to be killed.